Hi, my rays of light, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a psychic reading on Miss Anne Rice. I bet y'all never expected me to do a reading on her. So I'm very excited to read the one and the only, the most prestigious, one of the most prestigious authors of our time, Miss Anne Rice. For those of you that don't know, she is a writer, an author. She is the creator of Interview with a Vampire, and then some other books that she has written. You know, she's written a lot, but she's gotten a lot, or Queen of the Damned and things like that. So she is the one that had the mastermind. You know, I consider her like a jewel and a treasure to have her still among us, you know, here in the physical world, and all the things that she's gone through. So I'm going to be giving you insight of what I see about her. Who is Anne Rice? I think that's the most intriguing question and the most pressing question, because when I tune into her and her energy, she is so powerful. She is someone who I consider a witch. Now, I know that a lot of you are saying, well, she was living in New Orleans for, you know, a long time. So, I mean, it would just be, you know, common sense that she is a witch. I think a lot of people wouldn't classify her as that. I don't feel like maybe she would classify herself as a witch, but she is very witchy-like, and her energy comes across as that, like someone who has lived life, who has experienced ups and downs, and who's, you know, still with the fortitude to keep going. And you know, I feel like her whole mission here in the physical world was to definitely write books and to be an author. Through literature, people have found comfort, or, you know, when you look at her writing technique and her writing style, and, you know, the things that kind of like are very taboo, people usually don't, you know, always write about vampires or, you know, mysticism and things like that. The reason, you know, the fact that she's written about that and is contributed a big chunk to pop culture, to, you know, Halloween, you know, and all these different genres that she has covered, you know, where, you know, Interview with a Vampire or any vampire novel would fit in, speaks volumes about herself and her ability to create magic. And like I said, people would find healing through her books, because she takes people places. You know, people can step outside of the world. That's the way I see it, at least. You know, when you read a book like Interview with a Vampire, it's basically taking you out of your own world into her world, into the world of a vampirism, into the world of understanding what a vampire is, and, you know, how it correlates with humanity, etc. So I definitely do say that she is very gifted. I feel like she's very connected to source. You know, what we know about her is that she, you know, she claims that she was agnostic. I don't know if that's still true to her. You know, she still stands true to being agnostic. I know that she's talked a lot about being a Christian now, but having faith towards God, or, you know, God's source, but not necessarily claiming religion or Christianity as her religion. So it's, you know, and she has had like near-death experiences, and that's been known. You know, she's had health issues and stuff like that. So that's all known. But I really feel like all of those things culminated and has kind of opened her up into, I feel like she understands, like she's on the fifth dimensional vibration at this point. And, you know, at this point, I feel like she could tell people stories, and kind of help them understand our purpose here in the physical world. I think we're all at some point materialistic. We all want certain things. We find that, you know, when we gravitate towards many things like objects and accumulating clothes and jewelry and makeup and stuff like that, that this all, you know, kind of makes us happy, and it makes us who we are, and it doesn't. And I feel like she gets that, like with a fifth dimension mentality. It's all about, you know, having less is more. You know, the less material, the less attachment you have to material items, the more happier you are. And that's why a lot of people who are rich are not happy. She is rich, but I don't feel like she is unhappy all the time. You know, she has kind of come to terms with her fame, and, you know, the pressure that people have put on her all these years, to be the best author, to keep coming out with new vampire books. I feel like she is, she's done that. She's been there, she's done that, and she's moving on and trying to enjoy the rest of her life, whatever she has left here in the physical world. I feel like that's at the point where she's at now. Her life, though, is not perfect. And I think that's something that a lot of people see her, and she looks very calm in this photograph, very wise. But there's a lot of power and wisdom in this lady. Again, I feel like she's very much a witch, and she may not claim that title. She may not, and a witch is not a bad thing. I think a lot of people, when they hear that, it's an automatic connotation to something bad, but it's not. I feel like she, being around the culture of New Orleans, it was just, that she, would have eventually kind of experimented with things, kind of had to have protection, and not because of New Orleans where she's at, but because she is one of the best authors out there. And you think that other authors are not jealous of her and we're not throwing shade at her, and because she was a female on top of that, it wasn't enough pressure, because you have Stephen King, you have all these other male authors that are very well known and very powerful in the world, and then you have Anne Rice, and what she brings. And I feel like she takes people places, like I said, and her mind, like, I feel like she is so intelligent and beyond our time, like advanced beyond our years. The things that she has received, downloads of information, the things that she knows about life, because you cannot, to me, and this is just my opinion on this part of this reading, you cannot be Anne Rice and write about vampirism and vampire novels and not have some kind of extraterrestrial or otherworldly connection, or have some kind of knowledge into this world. Yes, a lot of things could be fiction when it comes to vampires. Do I personally believe that vampires exist? Most definitely. I really do. And I don't care what people think about me, that I'm crazy, because I do believe that they do exist. And I do also believe that she does believe they do exist. Otherwise she would not have written about vampirism and created like almost a real life character. These characters are like very real life, and she made them out to not just be like a character, but an actual person. And when it came to film, all of that was like kind of put into perspective, and her characters got life. But like I said, she's very connected, and I feel like all of this is all part of her being connected to source and just getting all this kind of good vibes and energy that helped create who she is today. Now, when I do tune into her now, I feel like she is going through some things in her personal life. I do feel like she is lonely at certain times. I do feel like she does not want to necessarily get involved in another relationship, but she would be open to having friends and things like that. I also get that she's still, looking at all her money. Like, it's all about her finances right now. And so I see, like, she would be someone that is very conscientious, even though she has probably people managing her account, etc. She still is very conscientious about her money. There is something coming through from Spirit, saying that she maybe felt a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like, living in New Orleans, that perhaps, there was something that like there was some magic at one time that was done against her to maybe see her fail, her health be impacted. I feel like the vibration in New Orleans is like very good, but at the same time, there are some, there are people, like, when they see rich people, they're not going to necessarily love them. And if she definitely is a natural born witch, I feel like a lot of people would have, kind of other witches in New Orleans that are maybe into the more darker stuff, maybe didn't like her for the fact that, maybe she's private, maybe she's very successful. And so again, I feel like there's been a lot of struggles in her life with her, how she's never been one to want to fit in, and I don't feel like she has like a lot of friends. She's more private in nature, but she does have friends, don't get me wrong. She's not like a hermit or anything, but I definitely feel like she's very guarded when it comes to that respect. Can she see things? I feel like having near-death experiences, it changes people. It changed me. I feel like for herself. Now, she didn't, like, as far as I know, she didn't come out and say she had, like, a near-death experience. But like I said, this is all coming from spirit. I do feel like she has crossed over and seen the other side and has come back. And so I feel like she brought a piece of that world with her. Could she also be haunted? Could she, have like a ghost around her that she sees? Most definitely. I feel like she's always seen shadow figures. She's seen ghosts. Like, I feel like she would have be open, since she did cross over at one point. Whether it's known or documented or not, I feel like she has, and she is very open. Like, once you cross over into spirit realm and you come back, you always come back different, and it's like you have one foot on the other side and one foot here. So like you are a portal yourself, basically, to open, to channel, to attract spirits to you. So wherever she goes, I feel like she's never going to be fully comfortable. I feel like, and that's just her knowingness, her being connected with source, with the universe. She knows that, wherever she goes, things are going to follow her, because she's like a magnet of light now, where things just come to you. They come to you naturally and you can't stop it. She can shield herself, she can do everything, but it's not going to change her level of intuition that she's always had. I think a lot of questions would be, would she be a vampire? And when we think about vampires, we think they're youthful, they're, just so beautiful. And I don't feel like that is the true aspect of vampirism or being a vampire. For me, it's all about power and energy, and vampires are going to age. They're going to age, but they still have, get power from, either, if it's not blood, it's energy, in certain things that they do. And I'm not going to go into all of that, but there are different facets to vampirism and what kind of vampire you would be dealing with. And I just feel like, she is very mysterious. Like, she has things that she is keeping to herself. And that's what's coming through, Could there be like a memoir of herself that she has written and that she is going to release upon her passing? I feel like there would be some kind of writings uncovered. Like, I don't feel like she's entirely done writing about vampires and things like that. Yes, she's on a new path, and I feel like she's very much now doesn't have anything to really prove to anyone as an author. Not that she ever did, but that's the pressure that people get placed upon themselves, especially if you're an author. You have people kind of like, well, where's the next volume? Where's the next part 2 to Interview with a Vampire, Queen of the Damned? People just want more. They just want it. It's just like, Stephanie Myers, I think that's her name, the author of Twilight series, the Twilight books. We're still even myself, I'm still expecting more Twilight movies, even if it's not, the same characters. But it was a movie, a series, that kind of took us places and did things with people where we became very intrigued. And that's what I feel like with Anne Rice. Like, she has a lot of things still written. I feel like she has manuscripts that are not released. I feel like she has things that she has not released to the public, and they're more her treasures and her things that she keeps to herself. I feel like she will do some traveling. I feel like there is a part of her. I don't know what the connection between her and London is in the UK, but I definitely feel like her being pulled or drawn to the UK. I also feel like she does have some fears being trapped in a situation. This could be, like I said, her needing to break out of her own comfort zone. And I think a lot of you that would be tuning into this today, listening to this, maybe you're in the same kind of position. Maybe you're a 70-year-old, a 60-year-old, a 50-year-old, and you kind of feel like your age determines your value or worth, or how much you can do, because you have limitations, or you have physical health conditions that prohibit you from doing a lot of things. I think we put ourselves into boxes all the time, and for her, I feel like that's what she needs to kind of deviate away from. Even though she is in her 70s, I still feel like she kind of is very youthful, and she looks great for her age. Like, to me, I feel like she looks like in her 50s in this photograph. Like, I don't know when this one was taken, but she does look very youthful for her age. I feel like, she kind of does feel alone, and I just have to say that she does feel like lonely at certain times, but I definitely see her communicating with people, people wanting, to see what she can do, like what else, writing another book or two, but I feel like, if we ever get that from her, it will be probably like something that is published after her passing, like manuscripts and things that would be hidden, that she would, that the family would find, or her son would find, and then it would be released to the public, because that's how it's coming through. So, like, I feel like she has everything kind of prepared already. Not that she feels, I'm not saying that she's going to pass anytime soon, because there is limitations to what spirit reveals to, even to me, and that's something that we're not privy to. A lot of people say that they know when people are going to die. Perhaps that's the case for them, but for me, it's not. But I do feel like she's made preparations, and like a part of her soul is like ready kind of to exit the physical world. I feel like she doesn't care, like, if it would happen, it happens, but she knows that there is more beyond the physical world, that there is a spirit world, and that there is a spirit realm, and that she will be okay, and that her soul will be eternal and live on. And that's the kind of energy that comes through from her. I feel like she's kind of like dotted the I's and crossed her T's, and she has everything like streamlined and organized. Everything is ready. Like, she would be ready any day. I'm not saying again that she's ready to pass, don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, in her mentality, in her inner psyche, like, she does not fear death. To her, I feel like she's very wise beyond her years. Like I said, she has a resounding what's the word I'm looking for, knowledge of the world and our purpose here, and of souls. And her intuition, her intuitive abilities, they have always guided her to gravitate towards the right people. Like, all the people that have ever been in part of her team, etc. I feel like these were good people that basically she has attracted. And so, yeah, with Anne Rice, I feel like she's at the point now where she may be getting rid of a lot more things, a lot of valuable jewelry and things like that, and kind of getting rid of all of that, and just living more basic, more simple. Because I feel like in her latter years, she's going to live more simpler. I don't even know if that's a word. More simple. And she's going to kind of enjoy, the remaining time that she has here in the physical world, however many years that is, and we all need to appreciate who Anne Rice is. I feel like it's an honor. I'm very honored to even do this reading. I don't even know if she would ever, look at this or even hear it, but if you do, Anne Rice, I love you and I respect your soul, and really, really love all the work that you do, and you have done here in the world for humanity, and all of the profound themes and aspects to your writing. As a writer myself, I really have a lot of appreciation for this lady, and how she can take people to another place. It's something that you rarely see. It's like a once in a lifetime, once in a century, that you find an author, or someone comes along and is like an Edgar Allan Poe, is like, all these famous poets or writers that come along. She's like basically a legend in her own time. So this was a psychic reading for Miss Anne Rice. I want to thank all of you, all of my rays of light, for tuning in. If you did like this video, please share it, and please give it a thumbs up. That helps the video get views, and get other people to look at it. If you would like to book a private psychic reading with me, you can go to my website. It's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. All of my readings are on sale until September 30th. At the end of the month, the sale ends, and there won't be another sale probably until like November. So this is your time to get your readings if you want them. Also, pick up a copy of my Starseed Footsteps Oracle cards. These are my newly released deck. It was released on September the 9th, 2019. And last but not least, if you have not followed me on Facebook or Instagram, follow me at Psychic Medium Ray. Blessings and love and light, everyone. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world.